This was my son's bedroom. In 6 weeks' time, I added this built-in desk for under $600. All with some IKEA hacks and good old DIY creativity. If you've been thinking about upgrading your workspace, this one's for you. First, let's talk about design. I wanted something elegant, functional, and maximize storage. Here is the inspiration picture that I started with. The desk that I designed was 88 inches wide, 24 inches deep, and 30 inches tall. This size fits perfectly against the wall, leaving room for 2 monitors and extra storage above and below. If your space is different, don't be afraid to tweak the measurements to fit your needs. The best part of this project is you can mix and match pre-made furniture to create your own design. Step number 1. Build the desk base. I found a 3-drawer Norley dresser in IKEA's As-Is section and built a platform out of 1x2s. This raised the dresser just enough to allow the bottom drawer to open freely. For the other side of the desk, I built a bookcase using 1x10s. Now for the desktop. There are different options to choose from, but to keep the cost down, I decided to use 3/4 inch plywood, rip the 4x8 sheets in half, and glue the 2 pieces together. That would give me a desktop of 22 inches deep and as long as 8 feet long. The thickness came at 1.5 inches, which ensures the desktop can hold the weight of books and monitors in the long run without sagging. Once the glue was dry, I attached 1x2 select pine to the sides. This helped hide the rough edges. Then I got fancy and used my new router to give the edges a smooth profile. It was all going smoothly, but things were about to take a turn. This chapter of my journey is called the Scribing Saga. Since the desktop sat against the corner and the walls were wavy, as you can see in those pictures, there were big gaps on both sides. I learned scribing from my previous projects, so this time I used a compass to scribe and trim off the excess with a jigsaw. It didn't work. Because I was scribing both walls at the same time, the relative precision of the mark line kept changing. It felt impossible to get a good fit. I kept tricking and tricking, making the desktop smaller and smaller. Then I got a big mess. Look at this. The wood veneer of the plywood top got tear out, the gap was still there, and it was looking uglier than before. After I don't remember how many tries, I was finally able to make the filler piece just right. For my own sanity though, next time I might just use a foam filler, shove it into the gap, and call it a day. I put all of that behind me and move on to build the built-in bookcase on the top. I got lucky and found this old Billy bookcase from Facebook Marketplace for only $5. It was a lot cheaper than buying plywood. So here is my top tip for you. If you want to build something low budget, try to find secondhand furniture online and modify it to fit your project. It is great for the environment and your own pocket. After cutting the side panels to size, I primed all the parts and reassembled the bookcase. Next comes the scariest part of this project, making shaker-style doors. In case you haven't noticed, I am not a serious woodworker. I try to get by with the least number of tools and hack everything, even if it means I need to learn some lessons the hard way. So to save money, I decided to make the doors with a circular saw and MDF. I first ripped down the 3/4 inch MDF to size. These were the back panels for the doors. Then I ripped down the 1/4 inch MDF to 2-inch wide strips. This would be the stiles and rails for the shaker doors. Next, I glued them to the back panel with just wood glue. This created a strong bond because I applied a thin layer of glue to the entire surface and the edges. After the wood glue was dry, I patched the seams and started to sand my life away. The saw marks on the side of the MDF were hideous, so I wanted to make sure I get a smooth finish. I have a whole blog post on how to make your own shaker style doors without a table saw. Check it out if you're as crazy as I am. Anyways, I also had to figure out how to install the hinges. I did it by myself at first, but I highly recommend doing it with another person because the doors were heavy. It was hard to get the alignment right. I tested the new doors. The whole frame was shaking from side to side. It was not a good sign. I was worried the bookcase will fall down because of how heavy the doors were, so I made two changes. One, cut the doors into two parts so I could distribute the weight better. 2. Reinforce the back of the bookcase. I took the bookcase apart, reapplied wood glue to the joints, and added support pieces. This is how I can secure the entire bookcase to the studs. This thing is not going anywhere.
The doors are still not 100% aligned yet, so we need to fix that. But those are soft close doors, and I want to show you guys. It took us a very long time to adjust the hinges, but now that we have it figured out, look how nice it is.
Building doors was definitely a challenge, but they turned out amazing. The finish was smooth and it really brought the whole built-ins to the next level. I then took the same 2-inch wide MDF strips and glued them to the IKEA dresser and the bookcase that I DIY'd. This made sure everything looked cohesive and uniform. So I got those strips of MDF cut. They are 2 inches wide and I'm going to attach them to the IKEA drawer front. This is going to be the similar style as the doors that I built for the Billy bookcase. Before I can do that, I have to do a lot of sanding. I have to prep the surface for prime and paint. So this is going to take a while. Now with all the parts done and ready to go, I prepped the room for install. First, remove the baseboards. Second, install an extension for the dresser. Then, I painted the walls and installed wallpaper. Here came yet another challenge of this project. It was my very first time installing peel and stick wallpaper. In the back of my mind, I thought it was as easy as putting a sticker to the wall. But let me tell you, it is a giant sticker. That was stressful. Working alone trying to align the edges perfectly was not easy. I used a laser level, but still, I kept having to peel it off and restick it to the wall. After several hours of monkeying with the wallpaper, I was finally able to get all the panels up on the wall. The last steps in the project were to prime and paint all the parts, trim out the cabinets to make them look built-in, caulking, and touching up paint. The scribing worked a lot better this time around. Look at that perfect fit. When all was said and done, the transformation was quite remarkable. The new built-in desk looked like it was made for the room. Calming vibe of the blue paint and constellation wallpaper went really well with the space theme of this room. The best part was we added a ton of storage. Another bonus was I was able to do all of this at a really low cost. As a detail breakdown, I spent $86 on the IKEA dresser, $25 on the 1x10s to build the bookcase, $100 on a desktop, $5 for the Billy bookcase, around $100 on a shaker doors, $74 on paint, and then miscellaneous items such as wood glue, bread nails, primer, hardware, etc. for a grand total of less than $600. Standing right in front of this blue built-in desk that I hacked with IKEA products, we have a large computer desk here. Over on the side is this closed door bookcase that can hide all the clutters. And let me show you what's inside. Even though my kids have some really cute books, they're not so beautiful to display. So this really helps to make the whole space look neat and organized. And down below, we also have some spacious drawers that I can tuck away all the Pokemon cards and art supplies. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you find it helpful and inspiring. I'll see you next time.